Welcome back to our podcast, Don't Chew With Your Mouth Open. We're glad to have you back. We are a hard-hitting podcast focused on investments, finance, economics, and solutions for people who live in the developing world. We hope that the podcast is helping you. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So whoever is there who's listening to us now, and this is your first time, please like, subscribe, and share. And for those of you who continue to follow us and support us, we hope this content continues to be meaningful for you and that you will continue to support us. Let's get into it. Welcome to our episode of our podcast, Don't Chew With Your Mouth Open, where we'll discuss business, economics, finance, investments, and wealth creation for the global south. I've recently been reading a book by John D. Rockefeller, the founder of Standard Oil. And this book comprises of 38 letters he wrote to his son. And in those letters, he's expressing several elements of his career, his job, his business, how he's worked his way to where he is and giving his son counsel. One of the letters, he says, your wealth is proportionate to your goals. Your wealth is proportionate to your goals. This stuck out to me because it amplified something that we often don't think about. That we are the ones that put a ceiling on our own ambition. We are the ones who put a ceiling on our own ability to create income and to create wealth. He was a very wealthy man, John D. Rockefeller, and until today, the legacy of the business he's built still is seen in the oil and gas industry. However, the principle he gave his son was to inform him that a lot of the limits we have are on how we perceive ourselves and the things we want to achieve. And that if you embrace a goal, regardless of your circumstances, that goal then enables you to target the highest of highs. Now, you may say, I don't come from a great background, I don't have a lot of resources, I'm incapable of actually being great. But John D. Rockefeller came from very humble beginnings. He had to drop out of school to work. His father was not available, and his mother had to look after his siblings. So he became the man of the house at a very, very young age. Sounds familiar? A lot of us come from these sort of circumstances where we have had to break through the cycles of poverty. And it's an important thing to understand that not all wealth comes from hard work and not all poverty comes from laziness. We have circumstances that drive how we think and how we do things. So John D. Rockefeller is saying, look at the stars, reach for the most amazing goal. But why does he say this? What he was informing his son is the goals frame the man and the man creates the wealth. So what you aim to do with your life is what will drive the income generating behaviors in your life. So if you aim to drive a Ferrari, then the way you behave every day around every rand you earn will drive your behavior towards earning the Ferrari. So the goals are the ones that determine who you actually are. And they frame your thinking, they frame your decision making, they frame your disciplines, and also frame your ambition. And once you have those goals, you can then begin to work towards. But the goal works on the individual, and the individual, once they have the right characteristics, then can attack and create value and create wealth. So Rockefeller's message is a mirror to us. It's a reflection of how we want our lives to become. What goals do is they drive discipline, they determine environments you put yourself in, they attract the partners you want in your life because you become the person you want to be and you're working on that every day. Now, why does this matter in terms of financial security, building wealth? It matters because there's a set of rules that you play every game. If you're playing rugby, you can't then play like you're a soccer player. If you're a soccer player, you can't play like a cricket player. If you're a cricket player, you can't play like someone who plays volleyball. Each endeavor in life has a set of rules that govern it. And the moment you adjust your life to one particular endeavor, you choose it, whatever it may be, the rules governing that success will then be imposed on you by your choices. And your choices then drive that discipline. Now, the difficult part is most of us quit. We find it hard to follow through on having a budget. We find it hard to follow through on talking about money. But what you avoid grows. And that problem will eventually come back to eat you. So set your goals clearly and then adjust your life to suit them. Ensure that the discipline continues to go through. John D. Rockefeller was informing his son that although you have all this wealth, what is limiting you is largely your ambition, because you haven't put your life within a framework of success. And unfortunately, most of us don't. So why is this important for us specifically? Because we come from environments with very limited resources. We don't have access to large pools of capital. We don't have huge inheritances, if we have inheritances at all. So then it becomes imperative that we have clear, decisive goals. We know we want to save 1,000 Rand this month. It's a goal. We will suffer the pain it takes to save it. We will forgo what we need to forgo, and we will enjoy the fruits of making that saving. You want to run your own business. There is a set of rules for that. Have you built up the capital? Do you have the relationships with the banks and financial institutions? Do you have a customer? Do you have a product market fit? To do all that, your goal defines that. You then work from your goal to break it down to a daily activity. Money, as a certain finance minister said in the UK, is the stomach of the body. Finances are the stomach of the body. Although they don't necessarily move the body, they are where nutrition is extracted from. As a result, finances are a central part of our lives. They cannot be ignored, as we then have to build and target them strategically. When you have 1 Rand to spend, what is the best way to spend it? You can't determine that if you don't have a goal. If you have 1 Rand to save, what's the best way to save it? If you have 1 Rand to invest, what's the best way to invest it? Unless you have goals, you're unable to achieve those things. John D. Rockefeller wrote this in the early 1900s, over 100 years ago, giving his son sound wisdom. And today, the Rockefellers still are one of the wealthiest families in the world. Contrary to other families like the Vanderbilts that didn't have structure, didn't have goals. The wealth was eroded after 4 or 5 generations, and today the Vanderbilt name is not synonymous with the Rockefeller name. Yet, at the time, they were considered equals. Again, the goal. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Frame your life around that. Once you set the parameters for success for you, your money will follow that. So our goal is to help you. Write down what it is you want to achieve. Frame a budget around it. If you don't have the resources to budget, frame your life around the decisions you're making. What are you doing with your time that helps you get better? What are you doing with the work ethic you have that helps you get better? Who are you spending time with? Who are you engaging? That framework all is defined by a simple thing: your goals. I hope this podcast has been meaningful for you, and I look forward to hearing what goals you framed for yourself, what your targets are, and what you're doing to achieve them. Nothing is impossible, and know that even though things are difficult and we in the developing world face many obstacles, the opportunity for you to build for yourself and your family is vast. You may not come out of a great family, but a great family can come out of you. Thank you for listening. Cheers.